Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Nick. Today I wanted to share a really cool method in which I use to make dados in different types of wood. In this particular case, I'm making these ends for benches. And I already have the pine ones all done, but I figured I'd shoot a quick video showing you guys exactly how to line up these dados and get them like perfect without a bunch of fancy math and setup and measuring. And in fact, you don't even need a dado blade. But I slide my piece over and I have a couple knife lines on the other side. And I want to line the tooth of my blade up to that knife line. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's super centered or anything like that. This particular technique, we're going for the exact width of the dado, but I just put a couple little knife lines in there and I'm setting up to that. And that's going to establish one side of my dado. So then I can take a stop block over here and clamp that to my table saw sled. And make sure that's really super secure and that's not going anywhere. And then I'm just gonna double check to make sure, because that never hurts. And we're in the exact spot we need to be. Taking another piece right here, another piece of scrap. Oh, here's another thing I should mention. This bench is out of maple. So whatever my stretcher material or whatever, however wide I want that dado, I'm going to want a piece of wood that I want to be that exact size. In my case, the sides, the top, and the stretcher are all the same. So this is an offcut of the maple. Like I said, I just got done doing a pine one, and it was just a hair different. But I also use an offcut for that when I set up for a different species of wood, or But that's worth noting. And I just mark on there that that's my bench, whatever I'm working on, test piece, so that I don't think it's scrap and throw it away. But with the first stop block in place and my project piece butted up against it, I can take my test piece as far as for thickness and then a spare, scrap, whatever, slide it over and make it fairly snug, because that's going to kind of determine the friction fit of our joint. But so not only are you, wanting this stop block down and square and all that good stuff, but you want to put pressure towards your project piece. So I want to make sure that I have a good amount of pressure and then tighten that up. And in fact, the amount of friction here that it takes to get that out typically is the same amount of kind of friction fit that the joint produces. Now, like I said, I should almost highlight this so you can see it better on the camera, but my knife lines are approximately right there. And so if you look at my first stop block and my cut, it would perfectly line up with where my knife line is. But if I slide my piece over to hit that second stop block, the blade's on the wrong side of the cut. I need it to be on the other side. So we actually need to account for the thickness of that table saw blade. And that's actually another reason why I prefer to go with 1/8 thickness full kerf table saw blades, because it's just a lot easier having a full 1/8 inch rather than some smaller fractional number, because now what we're going to need to do is find something that is the exact thickness of the table saw blade to compensate for moving this stop block over. You can use setup blocks or gauges or even a piece of wood that's exactly the same size, or whatever you have laying around the shop. I prefer to use drill bits, and this is an 1/8 inch drill bit to match the 1/8 inch kerf of the blade. The reason I use drill bits, because who doesn't have drill bits laying around? I have these drills, but I have no bits. So all you have to do then is take another scrap of wood and just kind of fit that drill bit in there, because that's all we're looking at doing is compensating for that the thickness of the drill bit in this case, which is the exact same size as the table saw blade. So that was just kind of a friction fit in there. Make sure that's nice and tight. Then that second stop block that we installed, slide that over and make sure that's really nice and snug, and we're basically filling that gap where that drill bit was. Tighten that up nice and secure, and then this middle stop block, we can get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. And then I'll just double check to make sure. So we're all the way to the first stop block. Our blade lines up with my knife line. Move it to the other stop block, and now we're on the inside of that waist for that dado. And then I'll just go ahead and I'll make both of these cuts. The really neat part about using this trick is now you don't have to have a dado stack or anything set up, and now I'm just basically going to kind of hog away the material and slide it back and forth, but I'm not concerned about going too far and making that dado too wide because I have both my stop blocks set up in place exactly where I want them. So now I'm just going to take care of the other material in the middle. Now in this particular case, I have a high alternating top bevel blade on there. So the end of my dado here has got a couple ridges. That I plan on cleaning up with a chisel later on, but that's actually gonna mate up and you'll never see that particular surface because that'll mate up with my stretcher. But now let's see if we got a nice tight fit, and which we do. This is just a beautiful fit. There's no real wiggle room or anything into that. So I think that's gonna be perfect. Well, there you go. Hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. It's a technique that I like to use, and it actually works out really, really well. Like I said, a whole lot of math or measuring and all that stuff involved. You're actually using the material to measure, and that's always kind of the best case. If this is your first time here, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button as I try to put out all sorts of build videos and different tip videos. And you can head over to nickferry.com. I have an email newsletter you can sign up for over there and all sorts of more information over there. Well, until I see you guys next time, you guys, take care. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Nick. Today I just wanted to really, that fly is back. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. I don't know if I got him. We'll see.